Wikipedia has advocated that linguistics is the scientific study of human language. The way speakers interpret the things they feel, hear, and see can be complicated because it is influenced by personal experiences, norms, cultural rules, traditions, and languages. Thoughts come from words, and these thoughts initiate behaviors. Hence, behavior change when you speak a different language. It is known that people in general can switch between different ways of interpreting events and feelings, which becomes a phenomenon known as frame shifting. End quote. This statement, coupled with my aha moment as I observed the Atlantis submarine maneuvering to submerge in Barbados's aquamarine, provoked my thinking and inspired me to create a new word, Bajan sub. Bajan sub is a made-up word coined from a combination of words Bajan and submarine. This new word Bajan sub has the characteristics of a figure of speech in which this word and phrase is understood in two ways. A. It behaves like a double entendre, which is language itself is part of linguistic culture. And B. It is learned rather than transmitted genetically. In addition, Bajan sub is a blend which negotiates with the action of a bridging and then combining various lexemes to form this new word, which is grounded in the doctrine of portmanteau. Double entendre, a culturation, cultural blending across the genres of Bajan music, festivals, food, and commingling with the Bajan natural beauty, including beaches, caves, its citizens, and its ecosystems. Geographically, according to Barbados University of West Indies Seismic Research Centre, I quote, Barbados lies in the northern Atlantic Ocean and is the easternmost island in the Lesser Antilles. It is 34 kilometers, 21 miles long, and up to 23 kilometers, 14 miles wide, covering an area of 432 kilometers, which is equivalent to 167 square miles. Since I am a Bajan and a licensed cultural practitioner who analyze the Bajan culture periodically, it is natural for me to be captivated with the intricacies of culture, which may be perceived as a cognitive bias. Bajan sub is an abstract notion and an ostensible reason to discourse different aspects or areas in linguistics, especially the study of a language, since it certainly helps global citizens to navigate phonology, phonetics, morphology, syntax, and semantics during conversations. The intellectual and the arrangement of and the relations between portmanteau and a double entendre are seemingly inextricably linked. They have two things in common. They are part of the linguistic culture, and they are French words which are learned rather than transmitted genetically. By contrast, these words inject action and emotion into this cultural dialogue, which is not just an expression or linguistic creativity, language growth, or change reflecting the current culture, but an exchange of ideas captured and framed with my macro lens as an author, cinematographer, media arts specialist, licensed cultural practitioner, publisher, and doctoral student. Wikipedia has defined linguistics as a comprehensive, systematic, objective, and precise analysis of all aspects of language, particularly its nature and structure. Linguistics, in my view, is concerned with both the cognitive and social aspects of language. It is therefore considered a scientific field as well as an academic discipline. It has been classified as a social science, natural science, cognitive science, or part of the humanities. That said, in this metaphoric context, a close-up view with my macro lens of this topic provided great detail of the fact that, according to Wikipedia, I quote, "Culture of Barbados is a blend of West African and British cultures present in Barbados, not to mention the fact that English is the official language of the nation, reflecting centuries of British influence. Bajan dialect is an iconic part of the Barbadian culture. This dialect is a combination of the languages from the different inhabitants in its history." End quote. While the anthologized data that I captured with the research lens from the annals of history supports the view that every cultural sphere is punctuated with and blended words and has a double meaning. In light of this consciousness and insight, I am now in a better position to verbalize Bajan sub because A. This word Bajan sub was coined a new word. B. Because a need arises. C. Most words are inherited from earlier versions of the language. D. Are built from existing morphemes following the language's rules of morphology. E. This word Bajan sub was invented by coining from a series of songs and were chosen randomly. F. It's a literary device. G. Portmanteau allowed me to join these two words Bajan and sub together to create this new word Bajan sub. H. This process includes social, psychological, and cultural changes within the precincts of acculturation and cultural blending. And I, Bajan sub, has a penchant to conduct itself in a specified way. Linguistically speaking, this scholarly inquiry exposed me to several theoretical doctrines operating within the precincts of the Bajan cultural sphere. In this environment, there are blended words with a double meaning and a linguistic purpose. Bajan sub has nature, structure, semantics, interpretation, meaning, as well as the cognitive and social aspects of language, which is also part of the linguistic culture. The information that I gleaned thus far supports my angle of view that in every cultural sphere, the union of portmanteau and a double entendre can create a meaningful dialogue. The genesis of Bajan sub is a blend that negotiates with the action of abridging and then combining various lexemes to form a new word, is grounded in the doctrine of portmanteau and a double entendre. Acculturation, cultural blending of West Africa and British cultures, music, festivals, food, beaches, caves, citizens, ecosystems, gullies, and commingles with Barbados's natural beauty. As a theoretician, in my closing comments, let me state for the record that I have constructed this theory, Bayesian sub, so that it can perform as a cultural literary works. This exchange of ideas was captured and framed with my macro lens as an author, cinematographer, media arts specialist, licensed cultural practitioner, publisher, and doctoral student. Finally, considering linguistics is the scientific study of human language, behavior, combined with my aha moment as I observed the Atlantis submarine maneuvering to submerge into Barbados's aquamarine, inspired me to create a new word, Bayesian sub. This made-up word was coined from a combination of words Bayesian and submarine. Bayesian sub was verbalized in 12 chapters in publication 292, podcast 160, in ISBN 978 976 9689398.